for joining me today on Family Altar. Today we're going to be talking about a topic called empty pursuits. If you could identify any home in America, any family in America, you would figure this out, that they are pursuing something. I mean, relentlessly going after something. Sometimes it's hard to tell, but you can walk through the halls of a house, spend time in the conversations, gather around the dinner table, and you'd be able to figure out what is it that we are going after as a family. You know, Psalm 127 spoke of how we should be building our homes. What are the pursuits that we should be going after? And what I love about this psalm is that it's called a song of ascents. And so the visualization is this: as the people would be walking up the hill into Jerusalem and then climbing the steps into the temple, the spiritual leaders, the priests, the worship leaders, the pastors, if you will, were standing on the way as they were going in and singing this psalm over the people. So as individual families were coming together as the family of God, these leaders, these spiritual leaders, would be singing this song over their people. And listen to the weight of what they sang. Unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, those who stay awake and watch it, the watchman stays awake in vain. It is in vain that you rise up early or go late to rest, eating the bread of anxious toil. Man, what a description of homes back then, but also homes right now. I mean, think about it. How many homes, and maybe yours is included, I know that mine can be so easily that you feel like you wake up early and you're going late to rest. Why? Because of anxious toil. You're not getting sleep. You're not getting rest. You're not getting peace. You're not getting comfort. Why? Because you feel like you are literally in a rat race. And some of you parents probably feel more like a chauffeur than you do a spiritual shepherd to your children. And so one of the things is that it says, unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain. And unless the Lord watches over the city, the watchman stays awake in vain. That there could be things that you are going after, pursuing as a family, that you're building your family and your home around, that literally could be vain, empty, worthless. And if I were to sit down with any family here, you'd be able to figure out what those things are. And sometimes it can be good pursuits, but that they can be empty because the Lord is not building the house. You know, just the other week, my family and I, we went to one of our favorite places to eat, Moe's. And if you're Moe's, if you've been in one lately, they have one of these little drink machines where you can literally, you know, dial up any drink in the world and get it. My son Eli asked me, said, "Hey Dad, you want to drink this?" And I said, "Sure." And I take a sip of his drink and I got weak in the knees. It was so bad. The reason why, he put so many different things in it. And when I grew up, when kids would do that, when they'd pour a lot of different drinks into one container, it'd be called a suicide. And I don't know the reasoning behind it. But man, what an illustration for what so many of our families are today, where we are pouring a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and a whole lot of this, and a whole lot of that. And in addition to that, a lot of families are saying, well, church or religion or Jesus or God or spirituality, whatever it is, but it can easily become just another extracurricular activity versus the guiding force of their life. And spiritually, it can be a suicide because we're raising kids and we're building homes on stuff that are vain and empty pursuits, and they're not changing lives because kids just see this as another thing versus the thing. And so for us, if you feel like, you know what, you're having empty pursuits and you feel like some of your efforts are in vain or empty, and you feel like, man, what am I doing raising these kids? I just want to give you a couple things that maybe if you feel like you are just too busy to do the things that God's calling you to do, I want to give you a few tips. Number one is this: you need to learn how to say no to some things. And I know that may seem very difficult because you feel like a lot of people are asking a lot of things for you. But if you don't have enough time as a family to draw closer to one another and draw closer to Jesus, you are simply too busy and you need to say no. You need to say no to a certain team, a certain club, a certain hobby, whatever it is, because the time is slipping away and you need to learn to say no. Number two, you need to prioritize family time. And it may be for you, as you say no to those things, you got to say yes, and you need to be intentional about, hey, there are going to be some times when everybody's going to get off doing what they're doing in their own rooms, and we're going to come together and we're going to spend some time in the Word, or we're going to go spend and just have fun together, and we're not going to rush the time. And in fact, I have a friend who will go on his calendar and write something in big, bold letters so that when someone calls him on Friday night, hey, what are y'all doing on Friday? Hey, we already got something on the calendar. And you may not use that tactic, but I tell you, you have to prioritize it. And number three, it's this: you need to learn how to disconnect from media. One of the hardest challenges is that there are constant notifications and alerts always reminding us that somebody else is needing us, or there's someone else wanting us to read what they're doing or information. And I realized this the other day when I was in a toy aisle for my daughter, and I saw all these cell phones for these young toddlers, and I thought, why in the world would a toddler want a cell phone? Well, or a smartphone looking kind of device? And for so many, it's because they see their parents on it so much. And so this is something that I've done the last few weeks and has changed our home anyway. When I get home and drive in to my driveway, I go and put that cell phone, that smartphone on the counter, I plug it up, and I don't touch it for a while, because I want the people around that kitchen table to know you are the most important. You've got my undivided attention, and not those people that are clamoring for my attention. So this week, as you were going after empty pursuits, I just encourage you, why don't you try a couple of these things, see if these small alterations could make a home transformation for you this week.